Man, we have to talk. Alright guys, it pains me to talk about this game, man, because this was just terrible. I mean, technically the Giants had their best day through the air they've had all season. And I know a lot of people are probably going to talk about that, with Daniel Jones actually being able to get the ball downfield, 345 yards, but he had to throw it 44 times. Hodgins looked all right besides his fumble. Daniel Jones getting sacked, throwing 2 interceptions. Hey, shout out to everybody. I'm talking sports media and Giants fans. Why was this the week where everyone said, well, Daniel Jones hasn't thrown an interception since week 3? Why was this the week everybody said that? I swear the moment that stat was put on Twitter and everybody was talking about it, I seen ESPN talking about it, I seen PFF talking about it, I swear I knew from that moment Daniel Jones was going to throw at least 1 interception in this game. Why do we need to talk about these things? Just let it slide. Just let it slide. The moment anyone says, well, this person hasn't, they scored a bunch of touchdowns up to this point, and then they don't score a touchdown. Well, this quarterback hasn't thrown an interception up to this point. Then they throw an interception. Like, it's just a thing. It's just the timing is impeccable when it comes to these sports leagues and stuff like that. It just happens all the time. Okay. So let's stop doing that, okay? Let's stop doing that. And, the Giants, there's going to be a tough stretch going into the rest of these games. We have 4 divisional games straight in a row that can, I think it starts off with, Dallas. Next week is Dallas, Thanksgiving. And then I think it goes Washington, then Philly, and then Washington again. And then we have, the Colts and Vikings and Washington, then Philly at the end. Something like that. This is going to be a tough, rest of the stretch of these games. It's going to be tough. The New York Giants looked terrible. Looked absolutely terrible. And this proves that, listen, not only aren't the Giants who they say they are. Let's be real. Can we stop? Please, for a second, and just realize that this team has a lot of problems and that we are nowhere near close to a good playoff team at all. And that's okay. That's okay to talk about. It's fine. This is not saying that the Giants are bad. They're not bad. They've exceeded expectations. They've exceeded everybody's expectations. But let's slow it down. We can't go from, well, damn, I'm not really expecting much of this team, to all of a sudden we're winning games and now we're going to make the Super Bowl run. Or not even that, because some people said, okay, we're not talking about that. Fine, although I've seen it. But even a playoff run, it's fine just let's live in the moment. We don't need to project anything on this team or have any expectations on this team. Let's just watch this team and see where they're headed. But it's okay to say that they're not top 5. It's okay to say that they're not top 10. I don't believe they're a top 10 team. I believe they're middle of the pack. I think it's the strength of schedule that really makes us look a lot better than we actually are. And that's okay. I don't know how much times I have to preface it, but it's okay to say that. All right? This team is a good team. They're a lot better than we thought, and let's just keep it that way. They're not that much better than what what they're showing right now. They're not that good, okay? They're not better than a top 10, top 5 team, okay? Let's just put that out the way. Second of all, this team proved that the Giants cannot win without Saquon Barkley being successful. The defense, although from the start the defense was just scratching and clawing their way out of a hole that became an abyss, the offense couldn't keep up. And that's exactly what my fear was going into this game. We talked about it on Young Guns. I really was scared that the New York Giants were going to struggle keeping up against Detroit's offense in this game. And they did. I don't know what Detroit had. I mean, shout out to their play caller. I don't know who their play caller is. Shout out to their offensive coordinator, the personnel team, because they don't have the best offensive roster. They have a great offensive line, don't get me wrong, and 2 decent running backs, very good running backs. But besides that, Jared Goff is okay. Amon-Ra St. Brown is good. Other than that, what else do they have? They find a way to score points, man. They traded TJ Hawkinson, and it was like they never skipped a beat. They just kept it moving. You got guys that don't even have names, like Khalif Raymond, who was a former New York Giant, making plays. Tim Kennedy, I believe his name is, the tight end or wide receiver, something like that, making plays. They've got guys all over the place making plays. So the Giants just cannot be successful so far that we've seen, without Saquon Barkley having success, whether that be in the running game or the passing game. He was shut down completely. Shout out to Detroit. They knew that if they shut him down, there was going to be no leaky sort of cracks if they plugged Saquon Barkley. Pause. If they stopped Saquon Barkley, there was going to be nothing else that really showed up offensively to really take the top off and have us compete in this game, and they were absolutely correct on that. Now, Wan'Dale Robinson was a very, very good factor for us, a very good security blanket for Daniel Jones, had 9 receptions, straight up 100 yards. It was our first 100-yard receiver this season, which is scary, but then he wound up, it looks to be tearing his ACL in a play that he made his final reception. It looked to me that he tore his ACL. His knee buckled with no contact, and he fell right down. Looks a lot like your typical ACL injury, and will probably be out for the rest of the season, and we'll see if we get him back sometime next season. So that's unfortunate. We lost our 2 starting corners. The Adoree Jackson thing, man. I cannot believe the Giants actually went through with this. Now, we talked about it throughout the week that Adoree Jackson, past 2 weeks actually, that Adoree Jackson was being used as a punt returner in practice, and they're just trying things out. And here I thought I trust this coaching staff with pretty much my life, and here I thought that they weren't going to be stupid enough to allow Adoree Jackson, our number 1 corner and a very, very vital part of this team, to return punt. What happens? His first punt that he returns, he gets hurt and winds up with an MCL sprain and is going to miss out 3 to 5 weeks. These next 3 to 5 weeks are the most crucial 3 to 5 weeks on our schedule. Why? Not only is it because it's difficult opponents, but these difficult opponents are in our division. We've got Dallas, Washington, Philly, then Washington again, okay? And then Philly at the end of the season. We need guys like Adoree Jackson back. On top of that, Fabian Moreau, our second cornerback, he got hurt as well, and we don't know how much time he's going to miss, but he's been a very, very key part of this defense, and one that was very unexpected, but we need him on this defense. Now we're left with Rodarius Williams, who, man, really does not look good coming back from injury. He was a good young player that I liked, that I thought can, be a piece in this team. When the Giants drafted him, he wound up starting a couple of games. I liked him. Then he went off with an injury. He finally came back, and man, he just doesn't. He looks rusty. He was missing tackles. He wasn't covering well. We have Cordell Flott, who missed an easy interception. But listen, he's a rookie. I'm not gonna knock on him too hard. He's a rookie, and honestly, he's playing a lot better than I would have thought. But he's got to catch that interception. It could help turn the game around. And then our linebackers just suck. They stink because they're just slow. Okay, they may be smart, they may be instinctual, but they're just too slow. They don't react well. Okay, dropping Jahad Ward back in a coverage to cover a tight end is just not ideal. Same thing with Jalen Smith. He's just not that good. Tate Crowder, not that good. As much as I love Micah McFadden, he's obviously not a guy you want to put out there as your number one inside linebacker, right? So our linebackers just stink, okay? Our run defense was so bad besides Leo Williams and Dexter Lawrence today. I mean, nobody was stopping the run at all. Nobody was fitting gaps at all. We saw Kayvon Thibodeau show some flashes behind the line of scrimmage. He was like so close but so far, showing flashes of Olivier Vernon back there with almost getting sacks, almost getting tackle for losses on the running back. It was Kayvon Thibodeau has been disappearing in these games, and it's very unfortunate. We have more offensive line injuries as well. John Feliciano, he went out with a neck injury. And then Tyree Phillips went out with an injury. And then I believe somebody else as well. I could be missing another offensive lineman. I think another one went out as well. And then so it really left us shorthanded. Matt Parrott was out there. Nick Gates was out there, not as a extra blocker, but he was out there as an actual offensive lineman, which is fine. I want to see him come back. And, it's just looking bad. Injuries are starting to stack up. Darius Slayton looks pretty good. He dropped the ball again, but he's getting more in the rhythm of things. Kenny Golladay caught a pass. Hallelujah. Kenny Golladay caught a pass. I thought he caught 2 passes, but it was Isaiah Hodgins the next play. But Isaiah Hodgins had a fumble. We had turnovers in this game. Daniel Jones had 2 interceptions. Shout out to everybody saying that Daniel Jones hasn't thrown an interception since week 3. That's your fault. But besides that, it was just a piss poor game. The Giants allowed over 30 points for the first time this season. The Giants scored, I think, no, we didn't score, this is not the least amount of points we've scored. We scored 16 against the Cowboys. But man, it just looked like we were scratching and clawing, trying to get back in this game, and nothing was working. We went for it on fourth down a couple times, didn't work. I believe Daniel Jones running the ball was so effective. Like, we got to use that more. He's got to slide more, but I can understand why he doesn't slide, because he just wants to get extra yardage. Every time this guy is tackled, it's tackled like right at the first down marker, and I feel like if you slide, you're not going to get the first down because the ball is marked where you're down at, and if you slide, you're like a yard or two behind. I get that. The penalties, man, especially on the offensive line. That OPI call by, I think it was Cager, was just unnecessary, man. Just run your route and hope that you run into the blocker incidentally, or accidentally, I'm sorry. But that would just look too obvious you were trying to block the linebacker. You know, you had a couple of missed calls in there as well. The offensive line with their false starts and illegal blocking downfield, you know, keep pushing us back over and over and over again. How many could be third down conversions did we have, or would be third down conversions did we have in this game, and it wound up being penalized and negated by a penalty, whether it be the offensive line or some other stupid penalty like a false start on a wide receiver or something? Like, it's a problem now. It's a problem. First, we started off the season kind of disciplined when it came to penalties. Now we're starting to like slow down a little bit and not focus as much, it seems like. And we really got to get better at that. Darnay Holmes had a pretty good game. I'm just rambling, going by what I'm thinking about. Darnay Holmes had a good game, in my opinion. Dexter Lawrence, as always. Leo Williams had a couple of good run stuffs. We were able to pressure Jared Goff, but we were never able to hit home, i.e. Kayvon Thibodeau. I'm having a problem with him. He's becoming the next Olivier Vernon. It's pissing me off. But yeah, guys, the Giants are in trouble. This is not looking good. I don't know if there's anything else I really want to mention in this game besides the fact that I forgot to use my audio software, so I apologize if you guys hear a little buzzing in the background. I'm going to try to hide that with background music, but I didn't use my audio software, so it's just going to be a little difficult. But, man, I don't know what else to say. Like I said, I want to touch on this again. Saquon Barkley, him not being able to be successful on the ground is a problem, because now defenses are going to know, and other teams are going to know, hey, just shut down Saquon Barkley and we can stop this entire team. Like, the entire team shuts down when Saquon Barkley has 15 carries for 22 yards. Nobody's able to step up. Now, we can talk about Daniel Jones' 345-yard passing day all day, but we scored 18 points and we couldn't get anything going besides that. We scored 18 points, and one of those touchdowns came in garbage time, honestly. So we got to find a way to be consistent, man. If you want to throw the ball downfield, start early, do what you got to do. And if you notice that Saquon Barkley is constantly being wrapped up 2-3 yards behind the line of scrimmage, how about you stop tossing the ball to the outside and stop avoiding the situation? Mike Kafka is messing with my mind right now. But that being said, guys, 31-18 is the final score. We're on to Dallas. See you guys on Thanksgiving. I'm not going to be live for that game either. I apologize. It is Thanksgiving. I'm sorry. So that being said, I'll see you guys in the next video. Woo.